So for more insight, we now welcome to studio Brigadier General in the Reserves, Israel Relik Shafir, former commander in the Tel Nof Air Force Base and a former combat pilot in the Israeli Air Force, and our Middle East correspondent, Ariel Oseran. Gentlemen, thank you so much for being here in studio. And it's been a tough day, and that intense gun battle is underway. The fighting continues in Khan Yunis in the direction of two hospitals, we understand. Your thoughts on the strategy right now, day 108, the fighting continues, it's coming at a heavy cost.
Yes, it is a heavy cost, and the bad news is that this will continue at about this pace for a long time, because this is a grinding operation against a well-entrenched enemy who's entrenched, has been working on this for 10 years in the underground within a very dense civilian population and under hospitals that we used as weapons caches and entrances to the complex tunnel system, and taking them out one by one and hopefully reaching a resolution about the places where the hostages are held, and maybe being able to free them, or at least pressure Hamas to release them, is a long and painful ordeal that we will have to endure in this coming year in 2024. So this kind of news is going to be daily news for us in this coming year, and we should brace ourselves. There is no easy way out of this one. At some point in time, Hamas will run out of warriors and weapons, and if we are able to stop the flow into the Hamas hands through tunnels in the Rafah area, that will shorten the time required to reach a resolution. But it's a day of reality, facing reality, which will be with us for quite a while.
Brigadier General, what do you make of this strategy?
Well, you know, the Houthies are not only proxies of Iran, they have their own agenda of creating control over the area they're at. They've been warring with the Saudis for quite a few years, and they were actually helping Iran harass Saudi Arabia, which for some reason was unable to or didn't want to take control of the situation. This is a major, I would say, upset for the Western coalition, who are being threatened and even bullied by the Iranian Russian-Chinese pact versus the American pact that includes Saudi Arabia and the moderate Arab countries. So this clash, where the Iranians feel probably that due to this year's election, the Democrats will be in a difficult position to take aggressive action, because they might be pressured by the Republicans, either if they do or if they don't. And with this coming up, and the primaries having started already in the United States, at least for the Republicans, anything they do, one way or another, or if they don't do anything, will be held against them. So President Biden is in a bind in decision making, and he has to make a choice, because the worst thing for him was not to do anything and look passive, even though he'll pay, even if he's aggressive. So it's decision time. We're getting close to decision time. And the North, with Hezbollah, with the Israeli security minister putting a deadline on the end of January. Now, this deadline is not very credible, but it's still part of the pressure that Israel is applying, brings to a boil the situation both in the south and the north, and we're going to see more of this coming up.
How concerned are you, given your experience in the Air Force, about what a full-on escalation across the northern front could look like and could mean, not only for Israel, but also for the people of Lebanon? How worried are you about a full-scale response from Hezbollah and then from Israel as well?
A full scale, we know what they have. They have a cache of close around 100,000 rockets of different types that will inflict a lot of damage on the northern part of Israel. But the confrontation is there either now or a couple of years down the road. With the Hezbollah on the northern border, there's something has to give. So better be it now, where the military is already on the borders and ready for action, than loiter around, not being able to bring the families back to their homes. So this calls for a resolution. This is why the boiling point is ahead of us and not too far.
The reaction from the Arab world to plans for the day after this war, which right now seems a long way off.
Well, you know, the Saudi plan for some kind of a state, Palestinian state, has been on the table for about 20 years now. And Israel has not responded and preferred to put aside any talks or any thoughts on what we're going to do with the West Bank, or Judea, Samaria, as some of us call it. And Israel has no plans and no future. And the stalemate is such that the ultra-right parties want to take over the whole area, annex the whole area, without giving the Palestinians the right to elect, to be part of the election. And that gets all kinds of names, this particular plan. Most Israelis, at least the census, the census that was run, says that about 70% of Israelis would support a situation where there's a Palestinian entity, be it a state or a state minus, meaning that they'll be demilitarized, if they can be promised peace. Now, this is a wishful thinking. There are no promises. It's going to be a difficult road, but we have to choose between the road we are at now, which is constant war, constant conflicts on our borders and inside Israel as well, and the West Bank, or understand that we cannot commit to messianic wishes to control the whole area and disregard the people, 2.5 million people who live in the West Bank, and those 2 million in Gaza, and provide some kind of a hope that will not be to the full, I would say, satisfaction of most Israelis, but we are facing now reality of the choices. So the choices are between bad options for most Israelis. There are no good options. And as long in this war, the continuation of this war puts a focus on the fact that a choice needs to be made between bad and worse. So that's where we are.